History was a product I packaged and sold to students staring down the barrel of the future. Spores of pollen floated in the thick rays of May sunshine, penetrating the antique glass of the classroom, obscuring the faces of my pupils behind a sparkling curtain. Unfortunately, it didn't conceal the fact that several had drifted off to sleep, chins propped up on their hands, mouths slightly agape, as if they could absorb the exam review lecture orally. I imagined the pollen filling their lungs with allergens. The spring breeze wafted in with the sound of luckier students laughing on the quad, along with the sharp scent of cut grass. Can anyone tell me when the Nectopolis city-state was founded? I asked, fighting the urge to toss a piece of chalk at the nearest somnolent student. The sound of the chalk clinking off her teeth would have been satisfying. Anyone. This will be on the final. At that, a few of my undergrads consulted their notes. I called on the first to raise their hand, a kid with hair cut stylishly short and an earnest expression. 328 BCE, they said. And who founded it? I prompted. Nectarios. Good. Does anyone remember the conditions around the founding? I tapped the map behind me, though the projected image was weakened by the intense brightness outside. I could have pulled the blinds. I didn't. Nectopolis, nestled between Epirus, Macedonia, and the Roman protectorates, their modern-day counterparts, Albania, North Macedonia, and Greece, wavered in the resulting sway of the projector screen. Another student raised her hand. Light flashed off her glasses, hiding her eyes. Nectarios was one of Alexander the Great's generals. Yes, and why is that relevant? Because when Alexander died, some of his generals took over their parts of the empire? Precisely. Nectarios saw an opportunity. What are some of the defining features of Nectopolian culture? Women's rights, said a boy I hadn't called on. I nodded, indicating he should continue. And, poetry? Guessed another girl. Yes, we have several Nectopolian epics, which is unusual, considering the dearth of surviving material from that era compared to what we know existed thanks to the work of Greek scholars. Anything else about Nectopolis you think might be on the final? One of my brighter students raised her hand. Nectarios' gender. What about it? There's speculation Nectarios might have been a woman. Or trans, said another. Some sources, I began in a tone that I hoped implied all their answers were possible, suggest Nectarios was actually Nectaria. There were women in Alexander the Great's army. His half-sister, Kinane, is known to have commanded some of his forces, and Thracian Scythian women fought for and against the Greeks. The Amazons, a student interjected,